morning, everybody. Aloha and happy 4th of July. It is Independence Day. I'm your host, BullMuscle. We got ourselves a great little show for you tonight. Today, whatever time zone it is, because frankly, I already know it's evening time in the rest of the United States. It's afternoon on the West Coast. God only knows what time it is in Europe. Actually, I know. I can test. It's quite late. Quite late indeed. In Britain, it is almost 10 o'clock, so most of the rest of the continent, I assume, has gone to bed. I know the British had a big election today. I gotta be honest, there's a reason. There's a reason that we don't have to worry about that so much. Actually, I really do care about that. Britain is a very important ally to the United States, and soon, hopefully, I will be having a flag up that actually does have the Union Jack in it. It's not the official ratio because it is the state flag of Hawaii. I've actually updated my throne list, so we're gonna go ahead and see if I can. Is it? Oh, nope, that needs to be updated too. Ignore that. Damn it. Okay, I need to go get my throne element, or I need to go get my throne updated. I knew I forgot to do something. Sorry about that, y'all. Give me just one moment. Throne, BullMuscle. There we go. Perfect. Wish list. Put that on there. Because one of the things on that list is, if you feel like being very generous, it is the state flag of Hawaii. I would like to, actually, I'm going to have to move the Bobby Hill Gadsden flag over to that side because I have looked it up, and the state of Hawaii says that if you are going to display the Hawaiian flag next to the United States flag, it needs to be on the speaker's left. So therefore it needs to be over on this side, which to y'all looks like the right. And I feel like you should do things officially and properly. I'm very, as you can tell, I'm very much a fan of hanging the U.S. flag up higher than anything else. Again, I just think those sorts of things are important symbology. And of course, today is the 4th of July. So we're rocking my Nats hat. Actually, I have a very good reason to be rocking this. This is how someone very, very close to me would have worn it. He'd have looked at me like an idiot for wearing it this way, but I like wearing it backwards. Let's go ahead and get some better lighting on. Oh, that's so much better. Happy 4th of July. If you can burp, I can follow you. Welcome on in. There we go. Now let's see, clone a Willie as an option. Jesus Christ. Trigger bell, we just going straight into it today. Welcome all in. Today's the anniversary of Will Smith saving us from aliens. That's, if you're into movies, I'm sure that's a movie reference. I don't get it. HQ Gamer, welcome on in. Good to see you. So we're gonna get started. We're just play a little old school, nothing too crazy. But we'll do this as our sort of our little side screen here. I still trying to get the size right. There we go. That should do it. You'll have to excuse the noise coming out from the side. That's the garbage truck. Actually, you know what? I can probably fix that for now. We're gonna just close off in here. There we go. And it really hasn't helped at all. This is one of the trouble issues with living here. Unfortunately, we'll go ahead and eliminate the window capture so I can put in my pin without y'all seeing it. Hey, all right, Grand Exchange got my bars. One of the trouble spots of living here, this is actually something I wanted to talk about, because I'm sure there are other ideas, but I wanted to bounce this around. How huge my chest? Yeah. I worked, today was not push day, yesterday was though, so it's quite sore. Today was pull day, so I really got a good pump. The biceps are looking real fucking good. I can't quite get... Oh, yeah, there you go. You see the vein popping. Good pump. Let me go ahead and put the window capture back up. There we go. What was he saying? Fuck. Oh, right. So with regards to living here, one of the downsides, and I really do like it, but one of the downsides is that I don't have air conditioning here, which is fine. It's Hawaii. The weather is pretty much perfect forever and ever. Let's go ahead and withdraw our runite bars to the bank. But as you can see or hear, that is a loud fucking motorcycle. I've closed my windows and I've, closed the little slats, the shutters that come with the apartment. But unfortunately, there's not much I can really do to deafen the noise much more. So I'm going to have to resort to earplugs. Unfortunately, that means I can't hear this alarm. Let me go ahead and... I'll go ahead and just do a quick alarm. Hang on. I'll set up a timer so you can hear about how loud it is. Here we go. Because it's a great alarm if it's quiet. I can hear everything. So let me just... Oh, hold up. Okay, so the lowest I can go is 1 minute. That's fine. Alright, so I'm going to leave that there, and in 1 minute you'll hear the alarm, but you'll hear that it's not particularly loud. As a result of that, it's not... Oh, why did I select the swords? I'm dumb. As a result of that, right, I can either get woken up a bunch at night, and then in the morning by the birds, and then by the motorcycles and cars and trucks, or I can wear earplugs and miss my alarm, which is, that's not good. So I could try a vibration alarm, but I really don't want to do that because that would require keeping my phone inside my room, which is bad sleep hygiene. That's a really good way to lose a lot of sleep. So the question is, what to do here? And I've got a couple options. I was talking them over in general. But all right, we got 5 seconds left here, so just tell me what y'all think, right? So this is y'all are right next to it on the mic. There you go. That's it. I think it's enough if it's quiet. But unfortunately, right, that's not the case for the most part. So I've got a couple potential options. I could try wearing my Bluetooth headphones at night, but I run the risk of them disconnecting, and then I run the risk of that not waking me up. I could try and get like a vibrating alarm that's connected to my phone. That's not a bad option. I might go that route. The other one I could go for is a watch with a vibrating feature. And I'm thinking about this. In particular, I'm looking at a Garmin Instinct because it would give me a lot of really good tracking data. I could connect it to my e-bike. There's a lot of really neat stuff I could do with it. I could get like heart rate data, workout data, which might be really interesting, especially as my other like tripod and other stuff comes in, and as a result, we get much better. I get much better stuff that I can put on my streams. So yeah, it's pretty quiet. So I'm looking at the on the throne. I've picked the one I want. Now, I would not be opposed with a different version or a different model. I prefer the 2X because, right, my wrists are pretty big. This is bigger than even the 2X, and it still, I don't think, looks huge on my wrist. Like, it looks, I think, pretty proportional. That said, I may consider going the Craigslist route and seeing if I can't get a used Gen 1 Instinct and then selling this for a net profit, but we'll see. I put that on as a crowdfunded one. I don't think we'll ever get it, but it'd be kind of cool. I could it'd be kind of cool because y'all would be the beneficiaries of it. You'd see a lot of really cool and interesting new data. There's a faceband Bluetooth that can order that covers your eyes. I don't have to worry about light. I've got curtains like drapes, and those are pretty good about blocking out light. The problem spot is really it's the sound. So that's sort of where we're at. I've got a couple other things on the throne. So again, I'm going to go ahead and copy. I'm going to share this one more time. Rams, are we 200 smithing XP yet? 200 mil smithing XP? Absolutely not. You can see up here, we're at 19.5 mil. I haven't had a ton of time to play old school, but we're churning along on it now. So it's chill. It's not like super high priority, but it's a nice thing to do while I'm just chatting with y'all. Because again, I haven't had my workout stuff show up yet, so I can't stream lifts. So that's sort of where we're at. Connects to your sound to wake you up. That might not be a bad idea, but again, if I'm wearing earplugs, I can't rely on sound to wake me up. I need something to vibrate, right? So for that, right, I could either get something to vibrate the mattress, vibrate my pillow, but then I run the risk of, well, what if I, in my night toss and turn and I'm no longer on the pillow? Then I miss it, right? So it's stuff like that. That's why, in general, plus the other cool thing is I'd be able to track my sleep and my sleep quality, which would be pretty nice, especially just because that's always been such a challenge for me. So I'm leaning heavily towards the route of going with like a Garmin Instinct or something like that. So if any of y'all have any like recommendations for fitness watches or something that would work in that regard, I'm all ears. I've heard really good things about the Instinct, and a ton of people on the military bases wear them and love them here. It looks pretty close to a G-Shock, so it's pretty cool. Girlfriend is something that can help vibrate. I see the smartasses showed up in chat today. That's funny. I can't blame y'all. So go ahead and leave that down here. Can't probably fart with it. Lord. So, what do we got going today? Well, today it is 4th of July. I already did my pole workout. Went pretty well. It's just past noon here, so for the fireworks and for the sunset, I'm going to go over to there's a crater nearby, and I'll hike up to the top and watch it from there. It's supposed to be very, very pretty. For food, I've got some ground beef, some hamburger, and I'm probably going to just make some burger patties, chuck them on a tortilla, and call it burgers and call it a day. So, I'm pretty cool with that. Oh, I can make some beans, too. Maybe I'll do that. I'll go Mexican style with it. Like beef and bean and cheese burritos. That actually sounds really good. Fuck. Alright, I'm going to do that. As great as burgers are, I don't want to go out and get bread, so... There we go. 1.8 mil to 104. We are rolling along. There we go. Alrighty. So we're chilling here. Let's just over a touch. Perfect. Okay. And then we can adjust the camera. Actually, if I'm sitting up, it's just fine. I just need to have better posture. Can't you sound dampen the walls or something? I could sound dampen the walls, but it's not going to do anything, right? Remember what I said. If I'm trying to keep my windows open at night, which I want to do because it's not air-conditioned apartment, and I like sleeping, with the weather. I'd rather not sleep in an 85-degree apartment. 75, sure, but 85, no, not so much. So, if it's cool at night and it's like 75, I want that air coming in. But this needs to be turned just a touch more. There we go. But if I do that, I have to keep the slats on my windows open, which means I do hear a fair amount of noise. That's the trouble spot I'm in. You see what I'm talking about? Be worried about bugs and pollen. I have bug screens on the window. I'm high enough up to where things like roaches don't usually go for me. And then I've got pollen does not seem to be a thing here because seasons don't really exist here. There's wet and dry, and even then, there's a lot of crossover between them. Because I'm fairly close to the Malca, so as a result, it's not like there's a fair amount of rain that'll get over, kind of mist this area, keep it really nice and green, and then that's it. Now, as you get towards the harbor and towards Evaside, it's a lot drier, and then you really only get rain when the Kona comes in, from the west. But that usually, that doesn't apply as much here. I had a fun leg day yesterday. Good for you, man. Good for you. Holy shit. No way. Did someone seriously just... Oh, well, thank you very much. Someone just very generously made the first donation towards that Instinct 2X. Wow, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Quite a lot, actually. Oh, this guy's saying something. Let's interact with someone else here. Dude's an iron. Gotta flex on him with the smithing cape a bit. I'm excited. Definitely think I'm gonna do a little bit of. I do think I'm gonna do a little bit of further refinement on the wish list for Throne, but that'll be pretty good. Have you heard any cars? I don't know if you can hear that beeping, but like the garbage trucks out there. I don't know if that's something y'all can hear or not, but I certainly can. There have been 2 fart can cars. Yeah. I mean, that's a garbage truck, and it's in the middle of the day, so it's not as, it's not going to piss me off. I did hear a fucking motorbike at like 6 in the morning this morning. I'm like, bruh, it's the 4th of July. People are trying to sleep. Fuck you. There's a couple assholes on Harleys, a couple assholes on crotch rockets, a really shitty riced out Civic, an Integra, a Nissan Skyline, what else? There's a Skyline. There's a There's a Mustang. There's a Camaro, and there's a Challenger, and those are the really loud ones. Everything else isn't too bad. Yeah, I need to update the P.O. box on !gift. Actually, Mikey, do you think you could get the !gift command to link to my Throne? Because that would be really cool. Also, just out of curiosity, how's the mic going? Is the mic coming in clear? Is it good? I hope so. That'd be really nice to check. Perfect. Thank you so much, Mikey. You real one. You're the kind of guy that if you ever visit Oahu, you crash here. There's a limit, like there's a cutoff point to who I would allow to do that. You're on that list. A clone of Willie on there for science. God damn it, Trigger Bell. You wildin'. You wildin'. So, alright, so I had my protein. I fancy some milk, so I'm going to get that pretty soon here. We're going to keep smithing right along. So those tickets I was tempted. I mean, right, get your own financial house in order first. That's the one thing I will say. You've got to be careful about that. By the way, if I do end up going for the Garmin Instinct route, I will be selling this. So if any of y'all want a Rangeman in really good shape, this is about, if you just want a watch that isn't connected to anything, like a standard old-fashioned dumb watch, you will not do better than this. It's solar powered. It's built like an absolute tank. It is altimeter, barometer, compass, pretty damn accurate. I've had it accurately predict the weather on hikes for me before. It's got 5 alarms. It's got timers. It's got anything you'd really need in a conventional watch, and I really have loved it. Honestly, I'd be sad to sell it, but what would the point of having two be? Why would I want a second watch? Been paid off almost half your debt. Good for you, Mikey. Good for you. I can't wait till you start. Once you get off the debt, right? It's like a wave, right? Right now you're paddling against the wave, and the more you get out of debt, the less you have to paddle against it. And then once you start saving and investing, the more the wave pushes you forward. See, that's where I'm at. I just finished. Actually, I had a little bit. I had a big credit card payment. I only do the monthly payments. I never pay interest on my credit card. But now that that's out of the way, that was for moving expenses and the e-bike and all that other jazz. Now that that's out of the way, I can get back to loading up my 401k, and this is sort of the best part. Now that I'm at the financial independence point, which funny enough, hey, 300 days, kind of cool. I'm already there as far as I'm concerned. I'm still going to keep the clock up just because it's kind of cool to look at. And it's a good conversation starter in here. But as time goes on, I can just sit back and let that money continue to compound, which means, I really, at this point, a few more years out here, and I'll be in the 2 comma club, which is a nice feeling. And it's, the longer I let it sit and invest, the greater it becomes. And this is the other really nice thing is it allows me to do things like more charity spending, more political advocacy, which I've already started talking to City and County of Honolulu, try and make some changes with cycling reform, already getting involved with Hawaii Bicycling League. I'm really excited about what's coming up next with the Navy. I'm working with a couple of people at Pearl Harbor to try and reopen the northern gate that connects to the Pearl Harbor bike path. Apparently the reason it got closed, this is what I heard, this is rumors, but it would make sense, is that like 15 years ago it was open. And it got closed because some asshole vandalized the boats, right? Because it was just left open, which is fair, right? Like, it's just, that's not actually part of the base. It's like right before you get to Ford Island. It's where the admirals have their boats, and some asshole went in and vandalized them. And look, I get it. If you don't like the Navy, if you don't like Pearl Harbor, if you don't like the admirals, whatever, that's fine. Does not give you the right to vandalize their property. Because that happened, they shut the gates. And basically, so that means cyclists and as a consequence of that, drivers had to pay the price. And that price is worse traffic, much less cycling safety, and a worse commute for everybody because some asshole decided to fuck around. So this is one where a lot of people are like, yeah, stick it to the man, things like that, vandalism and petty crime like that. You're not sticking it to the man, you're just going to cause more problems. Look, I get that the system is slow, and I get that sometimes you've got to get creative to protest, but vandalizing shit isn't the right answer. Granted, I will say, if you're going to do that, at least throw tea in the harbor or something. That's much more based. Hey, thank you so much, Mikey. I appreciate that. Felt so good. Shaved a 5-figure sum for emergency and paid off my debt. Should have most of it paid by the end of the year. Love to fucking hear it, bro. That's a solid emergency fund too. 5 to 6 months should be plenty. I don't see a reason to have any more than that, because once you're out of debt, you can use credit cards to buy yourself an extra month as long as you know how to pay it off. And the truth is, right, if you get into an emergency where you have to tap into your emergency fund, your expenses should plummet. You should only be buying the essentials. So, you know, it gives you, there's a fair amount of wiggle room there. And then once you've got that, you know, you can start loading up savings and investments, and sky's the limit for you, especially, Mikey, because I see how hard you work. It's good to see. I love it. I'm back. Hi, back. Trigger Bell's just going straight dad jokes today. Absolutely straight fucking dad jokes. Love to see it. Don't waste the jasmine tea. Honestly, I love tea, so, you know, I've actually started drinking hot tea at work. Apparently one of the coworkers that had an electric kettle just kind of left it in the cube that I now reside in. So I can just make myself a hot cup of tea whenever I want. It's really nice. I go for, in particular, my favorite teas are Chinese. I've yet to find a good Chinese market here. I need to check Chinatown out a little more. Found really good Korean and Japanese markets, and I found really good Japanese tea. There's a store chain called Don Quixote here, and they do mostly Japanese stuff. So I found really good, I forget what it's called. It's like roasted green tea. It's like, it's not quite a black tea, but it's really, really nice. I love it. I love the flavor. I thought about adding powdered milk to it, but I just haven't so far. I have tea leaves from Vietnam. It's been a real inspiration. Dude, see, that makes me so happy. That is what I live, that is what I live for on this channel. The idea that I could help people be the best version of themselves is, I mean, that's what just keeps me going. That makes me feel so good. Oh, speaking of white noise and like noise generators, we were talking about that earlier. I did just acquire a box fan, which is pretty good for that. But again, some of these motorcycles are so loud, even that doesn't work. Not fully anyway. Went to bowl any day. Aw. Hey JJ, how you doing? Welcome on in. JJ, if you are interested, we have updated Throne. So if you're looking at the wish list, there's tons of good stuff. You can type in !gift. Actually, I want to try it too. Actually, JJ, you or if you can burp, can one of y'all type in !gift to make sure it works for non-admins? Because, right, I can use any command, Mikey can use any command, but we don't, I'd rather make sure that works. Would one of y'all mind typing in !gift? While y'all do that, I'm gonna get some milk. I need milk. It's my lovely pitcher o' milk, which has been rehydrated. So yes, I go for the powdered milk out here. Hell, actually, look on my throne, and you will see that powdered milk is one of the items on there, because to be strong like bull, you must drink milk like calf. I'm convinced of this. This is, especially, I will say, especially if you're white, milk is like, if you have the gene, like the Mongolian throat singer gene, or the fucking Northern European barbarian gene, to where you can just demolish dairy and have no stomach issues all day long, it is like a fucking life hack, dude. If you want to get muscle, it's so OP. Like, I'm telling you, man, I've told that to, there are a lot of, right, Hawaii is, I think it's still majority Asian. I don't know if Pacific Islander is counted separately, but ethnically it's majority Asian. And as a result, most Asians and Pacific Islanders are lactose intolerant, at least to a much greater degree than most white people are. As someone who is aggressively Haole, I have had to, I get asked a lot, is like, dude, you hit the gym, you're fucking jacked a lot. You look really good. What's your secret? And I tell them, bro, when it comes to diet, milk is OP. And they're just like, bro, my stomach hurts just hearing you talk about how much dairy you consume. And I'm like, yep, benefits of being white. I'm telling you, it's the most underrated white privilege there is. People love to talk about white privilege and what it is. No, that's the real white privilege. It's white privilege, get it? But Is it lactate free? No. This is regular plain ass milk. Although you can get lactose free milk powder. I just don't because I want the cheapest that I can find out here. Even powdered milk out here is $3.50 a gallon, which makes me want to cry. But compared to this $7 to $8 a gallon I'd have to pay at a store, it's okay, I guess. Hey, all right, JJ, and wait a minute. So, okay, Trigger Bell could use it, but JJ and Zero, it does not appear if you can. Mikey, do you think you can check the perms on that? Oh, nope, there we go, it works. Perfect. Oh, it has a 5-second cooldown. Perfect. I gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so I'm selling this. If anybody wants to make an offer for it, let me know. It sounds like I'm going to end up going that route for getting an Instinct. I just think it's going to be cool to have all that data. Oh, here brakes off in the distances are like heavy duty brakes. Probably either the garbage truck or it might be a... No, the bus is too far away from here. Let's ask this guy what his Smith level is. Why are you selling it? So, okay, I was talking about this earlier, but one of the drawbacks of my apartment not having air conditioning is that because I like to leave my windows open at night to get fresh air, I hear a lot of noise from the birds in the morning, but I can live with that. The birds aren't that bad. What really bothers me is the motorbikes and the cars that rev their engines leaving or coming in, and as a result, I've chosen to wear earplugs, right, to keep myself to preserve my sleep quality. But the downside of this is that I can't hear the alarm on this anymore. As I demonstrated earlier, it's not all that loud. It was loud enough when it was quiet, right, when I lived in South Carolina. But as a result, I'm looking for a watch that has a vibration alarm. That Instinct has not only a vibration alarm, but it's actually got an integrated flashlight, like a torch, which is really fucking cool. It's got a ton of tracking features, sleep tracking. It's got probably paired up with my e-bike, all sorts of cool shit. So yeah. Asking for science, does it come with the original scent or cleaned? I mean, I was going to clean it just because that seems like the right thing to do, but if someone wanted it, as is, then yeah, I would do it that way. If someone wanted, it to smell like Bull, I could go out and just go for a massive run with it on and then not clean it after that. Okay, I'd be happy to do that, but why? I mean, so that's why I'm selling it. In a nutshell, anyway. It's a shame because I really like this Rangeman, but yeah. Again, it's about the best watch money can buy if you want like a non-connected traditional style watch. Let me go put this back. So yeah, my lunch is gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be Greek yogurt, peanut butter, and pineapple. Ooh, and oats, because I like oats. Oats are good for you. And then dinner is probably gonna be, something like that. I'm gonna mostly do chores this afternoon, I think. Just kind of get things set up. Wait a minute. Did y'all hear an echo there? Maybe that's just me. Hey, JJ, thank you so much for the Prime sub, my man. I appreciate that immensely. So this hat. Okay, this is a Washington Nationals hat. You can see it's got the logo. I don't like the curly W. I actually prefer the interlocking DC, but this hat has a very special meaning. You notice it's pretty curved. That's kind of more the old-fashioned style of wearing it, which is what my dad did, because this was his hat. And when he passed away, it was one of the things I got. So I really love it. On a day like today, my dad served for this country for 29 years. I'm wearing it in his honor. But I prefer to wear it backwards because I think it looks. I really like the logo here, so I think it looks better. Which my dad would not have been a fan of because he thought that was dumb. And to be honest, like from a the whole point of a hat is the brim is supposed to block the sun, so it is kind of dumb. But if you're wearing sunglasses, which it's so bright here most of the time that I do anyway, it doesn't matter as much. Plus, then the brim blocks the sun off the back of your head. If you kind of wear it more catcher style, where it's like, it's much further back as opposed to wearing it like this, right, where it's just like sticking back. Yeah, that's kind of pointless. But if you're wearing it kind of tilted back a little bit more, it actually does block a lot of the sun from your neck, which is kind of nice. So feel weird wearing a hat. Is it curved? You say smart ass. We're getting a little bit of an echo. I gotta figure out where that's coming from. So let's see. Yeah, I gotta figure out what's causing that. I have no idea what it could be. Maybe it's that. That might be it. If I just kind of lower the volume a little bit. We'll see if I can up the in-game sound effects because I like hearing that come out. But maybe if we lower the total volume, it'll work a little bit better. Farming 99 yet? All you Yankee fans, bow to your new Ohio overlords. I assume you're talking about the Reds and not the Guardians. They're very subtle. Yeah. I thought it was nice. But yeah, I'll try and tune out the echo a bit. No, I'm not. I'm actually right now. I already have 99 smithing, as you can tell. I've got the sick looking anvil cape. I've got 103 actually. I'm into the synthetic levels. I'm gonna slowly go for 200 mil. Also, because this makes a shit ton of money. Although actually, we'll go to maybe 1,000 bars or 1,000 swords, and then I'll probably look to do some fishing or wood cutting. Reds swept the Yanks in the Bronx. Love to hear it, brah. I haven't been paying much attention to MLB. I did see that we beat the Mets, which is always a good day. Oh, the Nationals and Braves and the Phillies when they're down. Where do they go? To beat the Mets! Oh, the Royals and St. Louis and the Giants when they're down. Where do they go? To beat the Mets! I always love it when we beat baseball's greatest meme. We beat them 1-0 too, so that was a pitcher's duel. Had a pinch hitter in the 8th go in for a home run, solo shot, won the game. God, I do love baseball. You know what? Let's find out. Actually, I have not looked at MLB's standings for a little while. So let's find out what that is. Hey, all right. You know what? I'll take it. We are not last in the NL East right now. We're not good, but we're just below 500. Like my goal for this year, my hope for the Nats was to be 500. So we're 5 games under 500. That's not great, but it's not terrible either. And we're only 2 games behind the Mets. So if we can continue beating the Mets, we can catch up with them. And whenever we're doing better than the Mets, I enjoy it. Because, again, the Mets are a meme, and you want to be better than a meme. Even Mets fans will admit the Mets are a meme. Let's see. God, Philadelphia's good this year. Let's see what we got. The Brewers are leading the Central. How is St. Louis good right now? The fuck? What magic pixie dust bullshit does St. Louis get? Even when they're not supposed to be good, they manage to find a fucking way. How is St. Louis 523 right now? The Dodgers are good, predictably. The Dodgers they're the Dodgers. That's what they do. The Rockies are shit. That's to be predicted. We're better than the Marlins, at least. Let's see how the AL's looking. God damn, Baltimore's good. Cleveland's good. Seattle... Wow, I'm actually really surprised at how mid the NL West is. I mean, we all expected the Athletics to be terrible, but I thought the Rangers... I'm surprised at how bad the Rangers are right now. You'd think the defending champs would be over 500, but I guess not. Stros are barely over 500, and they're loaded with talent. I'm surprised by that. Seattle's pretty good, but 534 is not that impressive. God, the Chicago White Sox are trash. Surprised the NL Central's that good. It was such a weak division last year. But yeah, the Guardians are killing it. The Twins are good. The Royals are good. The Yankees are pretty good, as always. The Yankees being sub 500, that's a once every couple of decades phenomena. You don't get that very often, unfortunately. Oh well. Enjoy it when it happens, though. I don't like the Yankees, but I would root for the Yankees over the Mets. Because I like the Mets being terrible because, again, they're a meme. I like it when the Mets become... Because they're baseball's best comedy act. The Mets will always find a way... right, whether they're good or whether they suck, they find a way to be interesting. No matter what happens, the Mets are always interesting, and I do appreciate that. As a rival fan especially, I appreciate that. Dodger, 40 months you're walking to the pier for fireworks. So good to see you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The Reds are in the wild card muck with, all of us. The Nationals are not a wild card team. I just want to be 500. That's if we can get 80 wins, I'm calling it a success for the year, right? Like the Nationals as constructed are still several years away from being a contender, and that's assuming the rebuild goes as planned. We were terrible in 2022 and 2023. We knew we were going to be terrible in 2022 and 2023. The goal is to continue advancing. So really this year, I'd like to be at worst 4th place in the NL East, and I'd like to be 500. Those would be my goals. Oh God, yeah, the Cubbies are not very good. Dodge, talk about, you want to talk about the new job, talk about anything else? So good to see you, as always. Shout out to Dodge. She's been meeting some new friends, and things seem to be looking up for her, I think. I know the job isn't perfect, but the fact that you landed on your feet like that is really impressive. And it shows... I think it shows the difference between you in 2024 and you a couple of years ago. So I don't think you would have been as resilient a few years ago. I think you, over the years I've known you, I've known you for 5 years now. Holy shit! Since I've known you, I've seen how much personal growth you've taken on, and it just makes me really happy because I feel like in quite a large way I've helped inspire that, and it just. It's something I wish more people would get to experience. That level of not just self-improvement, but learning to believe in yourself is not an easy thing to do, but you've learned to do that, and it just, love it. Hopefully that means, you're going to be enjoying, make yourself a hurricane or something fun like that, Talk to your friends or neighbors out there. Hope you have a good time. I'm going up to the crater to watch fireworks, but it's 12:30 in the afternoon here. I've got a hot minute until that happens. I fucking love... Okay, one of the most underrated things about living here is the time zones. It's so good, because I have to wake up early for my job anyway. What it means is that... Oh, God, when I was on the East Coast, so I had to wake up early for my job there. Y'all would see, I'd have to stream at 8, 9 in the morning, Eastern time, which means if you lived, on the West Coast, you'd be screwed. You couldn't see me. If you lived in Asia, you'd be screwed. You couldn't see me. It was better for my European audience, I will admit that. My poor British and European audience is just fucked. I'm going to try and do some later evening-ish streams to kind of help with that. I think that's going to be my approach. As we get into a more regular rhythm with streaming, I'm going to try and do one morning stream and one evening stream. I think what it'll be is I'll do like a morning lift stream, and then I'll do an evening talk RuneScape stream. Unfortunately, I'm not teleworking at the moment, so... And I'm trying to get that set up, but it's going to take probably a couple weeks to months. Nothing moves quickly at the government level. But as a result of that, it's kind of difficult for me to actually like do weekday streams, because most of the time I'm lifting. On days where I'm not lifting, it's, I could come back at like 3:30, 4 in the afternoon and do an evening stream. So maybe I'll look at that. But on the weekdays, I do have a fair amount of chores I get done. And usually on the weekdays where I'm not lifting, those are the days where, if I have to go to the post office, or if I have to go to the NEX, or, any sort of like shopping or just general life chores, those are usually the days I do them. So that's sort of where we're at right now. I really, really want to get telework at least one day a week, because that would make streaming a lot easier, but I can't promise that. Am I getting Fridays off still? No. We work 5 days a week out here. In theory, the schedule's flexible, but it depends on what division you're in and what management you have. And unfortunately, with the work I do, being of a nuclear nature, there's not as much I can take home. So, right, there are different levels of classification for work, and anything nuclear does carry a little bit more sensitivity to it. Now, I can't exactly explain what is what, because that in and of itself is something that is sensitive, but you can kind of, right, with a little basic common sense, you can figure that out. So as a result, if you're teleworking, you're doing that over a VPN, and there are certain types of information that don't play very nice with the VPN, is basically where it gets. I'm actually speaking of the Capitals, they're Big Red, I'm actually pretty pleased with how Brian McClellan's been doing things. Everybody's memeing about Pierre-Luc Dubois, but Darcy Kemper was every bit of the same of a basket case here. I mean, Charlie Lindgren absolutely demolished his job. Then we poached Tristan Thompson from the Knights, and oh my God, we're Knights fans. Tristan Thompson was in Vegas signing autographs for Vegas fans when we traded for him, and the Caps management was in Vegas, so they just went down and said, "Hey, come join us now." So it was pretty funny. I think Pierre-Luc Dubois, he really likes playing with Russians, and I mean, he's playing with the greatest Russian athlete ever. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Be right back. I gotta pee. Oh my God. Yes. Sorry about that, y'all. I just couldn't hold it no more. You can always tell when I start talking faster, it's because I have to pee most of the time. Yeah, George McPhee and Brian McClellan get along really well. McClellan was McPhee's protege. Oh my God, LeVar Arrington II is at Penn State. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that one makes me feel old. LeVar Arrington was still the Giga Chad that ended Troy Aikman's career. What's funny, too, is that Troy Aikman has been asked about it exactly one time on broadcasting, and, like, he's visibly pissed at Joe Buck when he did it. Like, he was very much a, don't talk about this play. I don't like it. Ooh, LeVar Arrington. God, he was so good for a couple of years, and then he fell off. Honestly, of the 2000s, the defense, I know a lot of people hate on Greg Williams because he was kind of a scumbag, but he could, in the 2000s, the Redskins' defenses were always really good. Like, it was the problem was their offenses would never work because Snyder would go and insist upon, first it was Jeff George, who was terrible, instead of Brad Johnson, who was a good game manager. There's a revving motorcycle. Update the fart can count. Ooh, look at me. I drive a fucking Harley. I'm really loud, and I deliberately rev my engine through a fucking residential area, no matter what time of day or night it might be. I'm an asshole. I'm a sociopath. That's what that fucking is. Grumble, 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 grumble. But yeah. Oh yeah, no. So no, I love the Gadsden flag, and I strongly support what it stands for, which is not just Second Amendment rights. The Gadsden flag is a call to resist tyranny, no matter who you are. But I also like to not take myself too seriously, and That's My Purse, I Don't Know You does that very well. However, if y'all look on Throne, I do have a Hawaii flag on there. I'm honestly hoping if someone decides to gift that to me, that would be amazing. But whenever I do end up getting a Hawaii state flag, it's going to go there. And then the Bobby Hill flag's going over there. That's my purse, I don't know you. Greetings, Echo. Good to see you. Yes, Niam, happy Independence Day. Today is the 4th of July. It is a great day to be an American. The greatest country on earth. Fucking fight me. We are the best. And you want to know why we're the best? It's because we saved the best for last. The 50th state. Look, I'm just telling you. Look, one of the other best countries in the world is Japan. And where do the Japanese like to travel the most? That's right, Hawaii. They like Hawaii so much they even tried to invade it and take it over in the 1940s. Wait a minute. maybe they like Hawaii a bit too much maybe then. I'm sorry, as American, we are the best. We are absolutely the best. I think we could always stand to be better, but there is no other country I would want to live in more than the United States. I love the freedoms we have. I love the ability to climb the social ladder. I love all of it. Like it's such a dynamic. There's still so much dynamism here that I just don't feel like you see in other places. Now there's dynamism in spades in a country like India. However, India has serious environmental issues that make the quality of life a lot more difficult. I'm not shitting on India. In fact, I love India, and apparently the Indians really loving us these days because we beat Pakistan in cricket, and Indians love to just shitpost and dunk on Pakistan, which I'm about, because any state that harbors bin Laden honestly can go fuck itself, so fuck you, Pakistan, for doing that. You knew what you were doing, too. Like, the Pakistani government knew what it was doing. They were fucking hiding bin Laden, and they were hiding all the Taliban fighters every time the United States would chase them out of Afghanistan. So I don't know why we have not been better friends with India. Like, nah, fuck Pakistan. What do you mean? Okay. The right to bear arms. Unquestionably, we got it the best there. That one goes without saying. The right to free speech. Dude, go look at it. I mean, like, fuck. I can say literally anything I want right now on Twitch. And there's not anything, right? Like, I can say whatever I want. I can support whatever political cause I want. I mean, right, there are limitations I have because of a function of my career, but I choose to make that trade-off. That's freedom. Being able to make that choice. Freedom of the press, you can write anything you'd like in this country. Now, there are libel laws and slander laws, which is fair. Is it a perfect balance? It might not be perfect, but it's pretty close. Freedom of assembly. The last time I checked, if I want to go down with a bunch of my buddies from, say, Hawaii Bicycling League, and we want to protest at the state capitol and agitate for better cycling infrastructure, we can do that, and we have. Freedom of assembly, so that's a check. Freedom of the press, that's a check. Freedom of religion, I mean, come on, that's very clearly a check. You can believe anything you fucking want in this country. That's great. Other Western liberal democracy. Dude, have you seen what gun laws are like in a lot of other countries? Like, Jesus Christ, I mean, you go to Australia, you just straight up can't own anything. That's awful. Hell, anymore too. I mean, there are some Western democracies that, you know, like, especially during the pandemic, they got super illiberal. The United States, in general, was better about that. Not perfect, but better. I will give credit to the Swedes, which I don't like normally doing. The Swedes handled the pandemic really well. So, yeah. No, I'll put it the other way. You keep saying we're not the best. Explain why, right? You can argue, okay, GDP per capita. There are some countries, Norway, Luxembourg, Monaco, that are better. But look at the cost of living in those countries, one, and then two, a lot of those countries only have that due to, right, external circumstances. Norway's wealth comes mostly from its oil and gas resources. Now, all credit where it's due to Norway. They manage it very well, and I have a lot of props to them. But, right, Norway is not going to ever really be able to exert itself on a massive level for the better. Hell, I mean, even compared to other European countries, they're not really all that great, like, in terms of, you know, trying to support, for instance, the war between a totalitarian dictatorship and a flawed, if a flawed but functioning democratic state in Ukraine. Go live in Canada on a day-to-day basis. There's nothing that I can't do that I can't do in the States. Bro, are you kidding me? Bro, the Canadians have gotten super illiberal under Justin Trudeau. Not to mention, I mean, God, the cost of living here is bad, but compared to Canada, it's terrific. Dude, Canada's really got problems right now. Canada's got massive cost of living issues. If you live in, especially Vancouver, it's got massive homeless problems. If you want to own a gun in Canada, have fucking fun with that. If you want to protest in Canada, it's a lot more difficult than the United States, and there are a lot more repercussions and ramifications. If you do not support a lot of the diversity is our strength woke bullshit that is pushed by the Trudeau government, you can find a lot of consequences to that. That being said, I'm not right. When I say woke bullshit, I'm not saying I'm one of these far right people, because I'm not. But there is a line, and I think socially speaking, a lot of the progressives in the United States, but especially in Canada, have gone too far. Shocker, moderate is moderate. And their hockey teams. Why do you keep bringing up the Second Amendment? Because the Second Amendment guarantees all the other amendments. What do you think this flag means? Right, the Gadsden flag means to be able to resist tyranny. The reason we have the Second Amendment is to protect minorities and to protect the oppressed from a tyranny, from a tyrannical government, or from a tyrannical invader. It works both ways, right? It's all enemies of the Constitution, foreign and domestic. So that's the thing. A government should be slightly scared of its own people. I do believe that. The Second Amendment is the one that guarantees all the other amendments. It cannot be fucked with. Canada's issues are so much worse than the United States. Dude, it's not even close. Go look at what housing prices are pick a Canadian city. Even like Calgary and Edmonton are insane compared to the United States. But, yeah, no, dude, if you want to go and live in Canada, be my guest, but hard fucking pass. I love our neighbors to the north, and I feel like I'm being overly hard on them, because Canada is definitely a great place to live. But, like, I get the sense that there is a lot of this attitude, especially from across the pond. The Canadians are, like, better versions of us, and I'm just not convinced that's true. Here's another one. The biggest slacker in terms of defense spending for NATO, like they're notoriously like the leech of NATO, is Canada. And it's because they know nobody is going to ever attack Canada, because if they did, Big Brother America would come and kick their ass. This is known. But as a result, as a percentage of GDP, Canada spends even less than fucking Belgium does. And Belgium probably shouldn't even exist as a country. It's functionally broken in half. I mean, like, Belgium is a construct created by the British to basically make a place where the French, the British, and the Germans could sort out their differences. That's the existence of Belgium in a nutshell. and somehow Belgium has a better defense record at this point than the Canadians do. That's one where I will definitely criticize Canada for that one. They leech off of our defense spending. Now, our defense spending is probably a bit too much largesse. In fact, I know it is. I work with it on a day-to-day basis. But that doesn't excuse the Canadians from slacking on their responsibilities. Yeah. I love I love Canada though. I mean honestly, we could not ask for a better neighbor, and the only thing I really wish is that we had that same sort of relationship with Mexico, cuz speaking of other countries I absolutely fucking love, like if I had to pick a middle income country to live in, Mexico is probably at the top of that list. First off, the best food in the world. Yeah, no, I would stand by that statement. I think the Mexicans probably are. Actually, I think UNESCO did a competition to find like they started doing like sanctioned heritage cuisines. And, like the first one they did was Mexico. I'd agree with that. Mexican food is just next level. Mexican culture is really cool. I have tons of friends from Mexico because I used to live in Texas. But no, I heavily fucks with Mexico. I just wish I wish our relations were better. Shit, if I was president, honestly, that would be one of the first things I would do is try to improve relations with Mexico and heavily influence Major League Baseball to put some teams there. Because the Mexicans love their baseball too, and if you're gonna call it the World Series, well, let's start, adding more countries in the world to it. Speaking of Canada on that front, Vancouver should get a baseball team. I think, honestly, MLB, has the best. MLB should be the league looking to expand the most, and internationally. I think a San Juan, Puerto Rico team would be brilliant. I think you could put a team in Mexico. I think you could put, actually two teams, really. I think you could do a Monterrey or a Chihuahua team, and definitely a Mexico City team. I think Vancouver could support a team. I definitely think I would love to see a team return to Montreal, just not the not my Nationals. Maybe move the Orioles there. That'd be really ironic. Cause fuck you, Peter Angelos. No, I'd love to see Montreal get a team back. They deserve it. Even though I found of the Canadians, the most smug and arrogant ones are almost always Quebecers. That doesn't mean they don't deserve a team. Also, Gary Bettman, bring back the Nordiques. Come on, that's just the right thing to do. Quebec City deserves a fucking hockey team. They are, that is the most rabid fan base. They have not had a hockey team for my entire life, and there are still diehard Nordiques fans. You're not going to get, look, I don't care how much you want a team in Arizona. You're not going to build that fan base in Phoenix. Do the right thing and put a team in Quebec. I get why they're not doing it right now, because the dollar is unbelievably strong right now, which means it's so fucking hard for Canadian teams to compete, but still. I have read the Federalist Papers. 2A exists. No, the Second Amendment exists for more reasons than that, right? The Federalist Papers illustrate that the Second Amendment and the Bill of Rights as a whole was a compromise added and insisted upon by the anti-federalists who believed the Constitution as constructed gave it too much power. What one of the amendments, being gun rights, would do is take power away from the federal government and return it to hands of the people, which is that's the whole point of the Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me. You're going with a very narrow interpretation of the Second Amendment there, and I don't understand why. But dude, yeah, Quebec City deserves a hockey team. Dude, okay, let's talk MLB expansion. Okay, first off, I heard the White Sox are looking to leave, and frankly, I've never understood why Chicago needed two teams. I get the White Sox are extremely historic, but that's a relic of the 1920s. Chicago is not as influential a city as it once was. I love Chicago, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Chicago needs two teams. Frankly, I don't think LA needs two teams. Why should the Angels be there? I think, first off, San Antonio, Texas deserves a baseball team. San Antonio is a massive city. If you placed it on the northern half of the city, Austin would probably get some fans from there. And if you did that, you'd have... first off, I think let's start here. The Athletics are moving to the wrong city. They should move to San Antonio because they're already in the AL West, and you'd have a three-way in-state rivalry between Texas, Houston, and San Antonio. It would be brilliant. You'd be amazing. It would be amazing. I would add to the NL West, put a team in Monterey or Mexico City. I think that would be a fantastic choice too. I would move Seattle to the NL West to make it a little bit more geographically compact and put the Rockies in the AL West. You could go with, I would think a team in Charlotte would do really well, or one of the Carolinas. Given how big an industrial powerhouse of a state North Carolina has become, it's kind of shocking that they don't have a big team. You couldn't really put a team in Virginia, even though Richmond, you could argue, should have one, or the Seven Cities, just because the Nationals, I don't think the Nationals would be cool with that. I think you should move the Miami Marlins to San Juan, Puerto Rico, because I have never seen a group of people love their baseball more than Puerto Rico, and I think if you put a team there, yeah, I get that Puerto Rico is not as rich as the other 50 states. Which, by the way, as far as Puerto Rican statehood is concerned, if they want it, I want it. I love Puerto Rico, but I would love to see an MLB team there. But frankly, even if Puerto Rico is independent, if they love that, I'd love that too. I'd be sad because then it would be more of a pain in the ass for me to visit, but I'd still do it because PR kicks ass. So if there are any Puerto Ricans on my street, hell yeah, let's go Boricua. By the way, if you've ever seen the Puerto Rico World Baseball Classic hat, it looks so fucking sick. It's so good. I love the design. It's one of the best flags, too. The Puerto Rican flag is beautiful. And frankly, as much as I don't like them, Cuba as well. I think if you put a baseball team in Havana, it would go nuts. Now, they probably have some major issues, sticking around and, competing with teams like the Yankees or the Dodgers. However, maybe that's how you finally get Cuba off the economic idiocy that is communism. I think you do a massive package. You say, all right, Cuba, here's how this works. We'll shut down Gitmo. We will shut down Gitmo and guarantee a Havana baseball team if you allow multi-party elections and we will end the embargo if you allow U.S. companies to set up shop there, unrestricted. I think you do that. That's how you convert Cuba to capitalism, improve human rights in Cuba, and get rid of this stupid fucking anti-Cuba embargo that we have that really only exists because a bunch of cranky old geezers in South Florida don't like the Cuban regime, which I will admit is very repressive, but fuck, we deal with China and they're worse, frankly, a lot worse than Cuba. I think the way you fix the diplomacy issues in Cuba is with baseball. I'm convinced of it. Same thing with Mexico. You put a team in Mexico City, a team in Monterey. I could even argue a team in Chihuahua. I think that shit would be dope. Maybe put them in the NL West or something. I think a team in Vancouver would be really good. Definitely, I would say, for the AL East, you've already got the Blue Jays there. You put a renewed Expos in the AL East because it's much closer to Boston. It's much closer to New York. Don't put the Expos in the NL East. I do really like geographically sensible divisions because then you get way better rivalry games, right? If you're a Cubs fan, who are your biggest rivals? Milwaukee and St. Louis. Why? Because those are the two closest baseball teams that you fight with. Do you care about the White Sox? No. Why? Well, mostly because they're in the other league. Where's the fun in that? For that reason, I would be open to the idea of moving Baltimore to the NL East and the Mets to the AL East, because then you would have crosstown rivalry games all the time. And first off, apart from being better for the environment because it's less travel, I mean, can you imagine how much fun that would be for the city of New York to have crosstown rivalry games all the time? Dude, that shit would be great. Hey, Pucked Up, welcome on in. Good to see you. Gonna have to lurk here. The passive unpacking done. Empire State Building is the better than the yeah. I read the Federalist Papers back in high school as well. It was good. They're pretty entertaining, honestly. I'm very impressed with the quality of thought that went into those for sure. But the other baseball towns I'd consider, yeah, so I'd definitely be interested in moving a team to Charlotte or expanding to Charlotte. The Carolinas both have gotten very big, and the nice thing with Charlotte is that you can call it in the same way that NFL has the Carolina Panthers, that how they even built the stadium and like the practice grounds right on the state borderline to kind of represent both Carolinas. You could do the same thing with baseball, and I think it'd work really great. Charlotte Hornets, I mean, right, the Hornets and the Panthers prove that Charlotte is a very viable city for sports teams. And hockey is over in Raleigh, so you don't have to worry about hockey quite as much. So I think baseball in North Carolina would be a great idea. I would also consider putting a baseball team in New Orleans, but I get why people wouldn't, because in the summertime especially, that's when you get all the hurricanes, and inevitably New Orleans is going to just get hit hard by that no matter what happens. So you already have to deal with the Marlins on that front, so maybe not. I think a team in Salt Lake City would be a lot of fun. I think you could definitely. I'm glad Salt Lake City's getting a hockey team. Like, the Coyotes had no business staying in Arizona as long as they did, and it was only because Gary Bettman is very, very stubborn that they stayed in Arizona. But I think as far as baseball is concerned, a team in Salt Lake would work really well. You could put a team in. This is a hot take. If you were going to put another team back in California, I would say move the Anaheim Angels to the Central Valley. Fresno or Sacramento. I personally would go with Fresno. Fresno is the biggest city, is one of the biggest cities in the United States that has 0 sports teams. And it's just because it gets overlooked by all the other California cities. But I bet, especially if you put them in the NL West, where the Dodgers and the Giants and the Padres are, it's basically a California division plus, I guess, I don't know, a team maybe in Portland and maybe the Mariners. And then, I don't know, maybe somehow you squeeze in a Vancouver team. But if you do that, right, oh my God, it would be such a good division. Because I would love to see that. All the uppity, arrogant Giants and Dodgers fans having to travel to Fresno to watch their team, play, the farm town, basically. Because coastal Californians have such this beak about the Central Valley, even though the Central Valley is the most valuable part of the state. Fucking fight me on that one, tech bros. Yeah, I care way more about my fresh produce than I do about your tech bullshit. I don't. And Tinseltown, too. Like Hollywood, fuck Hollywood. Compared to the Central Valley, LA ain't shit. Compared to the Central Valley, honestly, most of the country ain't shit. Compared to the Central Valley, basically the whole world ain't shit in terms of how much food comes from there. The Central Valley is incredibly important, and I feel like they deserve a sports team to represent them. And I mean a real sports team, not whatever the fuck the Sacramento Kings are doing. Not like your boobs. Fair enough. San Diego is like the one thing everyone in the state of California can agree on. Everybody just kind of likes San Diego. That is reflected in the housing costs, which somehow make my town of Honolulu look reasonable. I think Aaron Burr didn't think anyone would read the Federalist Papers. Hamilton, I mean, all of those men of the late 18th century for the United States, right? Hamilton, Franklin, Jefferson, Madison, it just blows my Adams. The combined intellect there to come up with this system it's mind blowing. It's why our country is so great. We started with a better foundation than any other country in the world had in the 1780s. We really did extraordinarily well there. Yes, I agree with that. Bring the Chargers back to San Diego, or move the Chargers to Fresno. I'm convinced on this one. Actually, real talk, I think that baseball would be the best sport for the Central Valley. But if you're not going to go with a baseball team, put a fucking football team there. At least move them out of Los Angeles. Nobody in LA. Like LA, right? LA is already a notoriously fickle sports town. But you've got, honestly, I'll tell you what, move the Clippers back to San Diego while we're at it. Because nobody in LA gives a shit about the Clippers. Nobody in LA cares about the fucking Clippers. Because they were originally the San Diego Clippers, and they should move back to San Diego. But, no, like in LA, right, let's think about the football teams people care about the most. First off, I would say LA probably cares more about college than the pros, and I think the Trojans and the Bruins come 1 and 2. Then you get to the pros. The Cowboys and the Raiders have more fans than the Rams do. The Rams are probably number 3. Then you probably have below all of them, and maybe below some other college sports teams too, then you have the Chargers. Nobody gives a fuck about the Chargers in LA. Nobody! Because the Chargers are not LA's team. Never have been and never will be. Move them back to San Diego, or move them to the Central Valley, which would be the base thing to do. I used to actually, so long time ago, we were actually stationed, my dad was stationed in LA. So I know the area somewhat well, and I did drive through there on my road trip west in April. I would not want to live in Los Angeles. I get why people love it. It's not for me. It's too superficial. It's way too sprawling. There are parts of LA I would love, but those parts are so expensive that I'd rather stay here in Honolulu. Yeah, South LA is definitely pretty rough. I've been on Rosecrans before, so like I've seen Compton actually. What's funny is Compton's nowhere near as like dangerous as it was in the 90s. Compton is, I wouldn't quite call it gentrified because like no, Compton is not a rich neighborhood, but it's like more of a working class neighborhood. I feel like Compton kind of bottomed out in the 90s, and it was Compton now is kind of like the way Compton was maybe like the 50s and 60s, where it was working class, but it wasn't like the most notorious hood in the United States. Fresno State would benefit the most from the NFL team. I mean, yeah, I think Fresno would do really well with a baseball team. You could put one in Bakersfield too, but I think you actually might cause brain damage if you move the Angels to Bakersfield. Every Angelino and San Franciscan might actually have a brain aneurysm. Because acknowledging Bakersfield is worth anything is the most fun thing you can do, frankly, when it comes to pissing off Californians. I like Bakersfield, so fuck the haters on that one, but let's go do some fishing. Bed-Stuy is very gentrified. All of New York is very gentrified. I mean, you can even go to the fucking South Bronx and it's gentrified. It's one of the reasons I would never live in New York. I don't think... New York does have the best transportation, but New York is so expensive that... Right, there's an old saying about New York. It's that New York is so expensive that you end up... Oh, I forget how it was worded. It's like... New York's transit is so good that it allows you to save money so that you can pay for problems that you also only get in New York, basically. It goes something like that. Oh. Yeah. We're gonna hop worlds, I think. Go to the 750 skill total world, I think. But yeah, all of New York is overly gentrified. There's not much you can do there. It's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? Gentrification of nicer apartments, conflict. Well, I don't like the negative stuff. I mean, it's gonna happen no matter what. That's the unfortunate reality of the situation. You know, you can stop gentrification, but there's not much you can do about it. Holy shit, this guy actually said something. Let's see what this person says. It's the Faerun. If I want to live in New York City, I'd take Washington Heights, build more housing. Bought asked for 4th of July off. Ha ha! This guy's funny. That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, this person's about to get 60 fishing. ban parking minimums. I mean, New York has already pretty much done all of those things, though. There aren't any parking minimums in New York. And it's the same thing, like Jersey City and Hoboken have done more densifying than any other place in the country, apart from maybe Emeryville in the Bay. There we go. Damn, this person's doing a fuck ton of fishing. Yeah, Strongtown's definitely got a lot of solutions. It's just, is what it is on that one. Right. Where are you going to build it? New York City is already incredibly dense. You can't just say build more housing when all the land is more or less used. Now, you could demolish some parking lots, but, like, simple answer here is all the suburban areas need to start densifying. So, like, the inner parts of Queen and Brooklyn. Yep, that's right. Oh, this person's just cooking and dropping. I never feel right about doing that. I don't know what it is. Reason for moving to WH, I'm a fan of Puerto Rican food, culture, and music. Dude, Puerto Rican, yeah, that's true. Like, Washington Heights is hella Puerto. You get mad Boricua energy from there. That's true. Keep roasting these trouts. Dude, New York City is statistically one of the densest cities in the world. Mathematically speaking, it is. I don't... Take the salmon. Take the salmon. We'll cook the salmon. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of building more housing in places like San Francisco where the density actually is way lower than it should be. But I don't know how much more realistically that you can densify New York City. At least Manhattan, it's not really any more land to build on. Repo all the real estate owned by foreign governments. That's not going to do anything but decrease investment. You don't want to do that. One Island is dense Manhattan. New York City needs to use eminent domain and bulldoze all of it. Dude, Brooklyn is already also really dense, right? You have to, yeah, like the outer suburbs you can do, but you can't just use eminent domain to do that. Like, that's, unless you're putting up public housing, which costs a shit ton on the taxpayer's dime. And really, do you trust the New York State government to actually do that efficiently? Because I sure as shit don't. Actually, how are we doing on money? Out of curiosity, what are we worth right now? 101 mil. Let's go. Like, shit, if I was looking in that direction, I think the market's handling it in a sense. Is the fastest densifying areas in that region are Hoboken, Jersey City, and those are the ones seeing the most growth. So I think, you're going to see it kind of happen by the hand of the free market there. Right. Because, okay, let me try and say this again, right? So Central Park and the LA highways are state-owned property. Unless you're sitting here and saying all the housing that you want to, the high-density housing that you want to develop is public, you can't use eminent domain. I would imagine in this country you're probably going to have to deal with a private developer. If you do that, you can't use eminent domain. I think the real answer, honestly, is just New York is full and you'd be better off moving to other cities. Like, for economic benefit. Frankly, you're better off in Philadelphia, living in the nicest place you can in Philly, pocketing the difference, and then just taking the train into Manhattan as many times a week as you need to. Especially if you can telework 2-3 times a week. Just live in Philly. It's honestly faster to do that anyway half the time. Yeah, you can. It's not about the taking. It's about what you're replacing it with. I don't think you understand that. Maybe. Anyway, so big red fro. It's I think it's exclamation mark HW, by the way, if that's what you're trying to do there, big red. No, you can't. And you can't repo foreign owned shit. That's first off, detecting what is and isn't foreign owned is a bit of a question mark in and of itself because of shell corporations. But you know that's a different question, really. All right. Tell you what, a place that does need densification badly is Florida at this point. A lot of Florida is still very sprawling single-family homes, and I think rents in Florida have increased about the fastest anywhere else. Oh. Sports fans in Philly are nuts. I will definitely agree with that. They are wild in. Ooh, I'll take the raw trout. It's free cooking XP. Yeah, we're getting a little fishing XP. I'd like to get to 50 fishing. I love that this fire never goes out. They just put a campfire very conveniently right here. Here, I'll do it. It's exclamation mark HW. There you go. Talking, of course, about the Interstate Highways Act of 1956 and its consequences. Speaking of, I found the most sadistic piece of road design in Oahu. It's so fucking bad. There we go. Like, y'all... So it's as you're going towards... Okay, so King Street got a bike path, which was actually just supposed to be a temporary pilot program, but it's so popular it's become semi-permanent. King Street got a bike path on it about 10 years ago, and it's great. It takes you all the way down towards Waikiki and I think it's McCully, and it goes all the way Everside towards the Palace. And then you take a little pathway on the Palace, and then that puts you on Hotel Street, which is a bus and bicycle only street, which is really nice. Hotel Street takes you through Chinatown, and then it gets you to the North King Street, which has sharrows, so it's not great bike infrastructure, but it is meant to be a bike road. And it's 25 miles an hour, so it's not that fast. But then North King Street, if you take it far enough through Kalihi, eventually it brings you to the border with H1, and then you go over at Middle Street. There's really a couple ways to do it. If you want to go up Moanalua Way, though, you have to go over to Kawa Street, and it says there's signs, and I put this on my Discord if you want to see just how bad this actually is. There are signs there that say, bicycle paths, cyclists, cycling path continues on the sidewalk. Use the sidewalk. First off, that's illegal. So the signs are telling you to do something illegal. But you carry on past Fort Shafter, and then once you get to Moanalua at the edge of Fort Shafter, the bike path, there's still signs telling you to keep going on the bike path, and then all of a sudden the bike path ends as you're going downhill right onto a freeway interchange. So you have two options at this point if you're a cyclist. Crash or enter the freeway. I'm sorry, what? Is this the best we can do? There's actually reported that to the city of Honolulu, and I'm like, bruh, this can't continue. All right, I gotta pee real quick. Give me a sec. I'm gonna bust out some food, actually. I'm getting pretty hungry. All this fishing is making me quite peckish. So we're gonna have some Greek yogurt, We're going to have peanut butter. We're going to have some oats. And we're going to have some pineapple. Good shit. No, we're still fishing. Good. We'll carry on. Go for, I'm thinking maybe just a quarter cup of oats, not too much. It's about a handful. Not perfect, but it'll do. And then our pineapple in. Glorious. Spoon. Oh, yes. We'll save the rest of that pineapple for later. Back in the fridge for now. And do we want peanut butter? I think we do. Oh, cool. We filled up the fish. So let's do some cooking. Basic, simple, American. Excellent. Good old Super Crunch Skippy. Get it at bulk at the Costco. And one big scoop. And two big scoop. That is a little bit, throw a little bit more on there. That's worth about 2 servings, so it's 380 calories. The yogurt's about 400 calories. The oats are about 150, and the pineapple is about 160. So that's 310 plus 380 is 690 plus 400 is 1,090 calories here. Bon appetit. Perfect. Hell yeah, America. Confused Amish, welcome on in. You must be a confused Amish if you're using the internet to talk to me on Twitch. There we go. I love non-fat Greek yogurt so much. That's one of my staples. The macros on it are insane, and you can pair it with so many different things. You make tzatziki, you can make parfaits like this. It's just so good for you. Even just putting like jam or honey with it or peanut butter, it's excellent. Kuro, that's pretty good stuff. See, now I go for the Costco stuff because this is a much bigger container. And for a guy my size, I kind of need that. The Chobani's good, but it's just expensive, especially out here in Hawaii. Non-fat? Because it's cheaper here. Skim milk is $1 a gallon cheaper than whole here, if you want to know the real answer. How to retire before 30. That, my friend, I can do. I can give you the long answer or the short answer, but I'll start with the short. The short answer is very simple. Starting at age 22 out of college, save 75% of your income, and that's it. There you go. By the time you're 30, Oh, invest the money you save into the S&P 500 using broad-based index funds like VTI. Done. At 30, you should be able to retire. That's it. Now, there's more to it than that, but... Hey, all right, 47 fishing. So if you want more details than that, by all means, ask away. I'll be happy to elaborate. Yeah, my unfortunately, I've had to learn my cost of living is quite a lot higher than it otherwise would be, having moved out here, but it's worth it. And right, just because, so I am financially independent as of now. That 300-day clock, thanks to the massive move upward on the S&P 500 over the past about 16 months, really I'm already FI. However, just because I'm financially independent doesn't necessarily mean I'm financially independent here in Hawaii. So if I wanted to stay living here, yeah, I'd have to work a little bit longer, which I'm working this job because I want to, not for any other reason. So that's no big deal. Or I'd have to rethink, like I'd probably have to have roommates or something like that, which I'm pretty happy to have my own place for a change. I haven't ever had that, so like it's really nice. So you're asking how much is financial independence, and you're asking the wrong question. The real answer is how little. So, right, financial independence is a fraction of your number, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, think about it this way. If you live, let's say you make $500,000 a year. You're a big baller, right? 500 grand a year, most people would say that's a damn good salary. If you're making 500 grand a year, but you're spending all of that on yourself, like on your living expenses, you're never going to become financially independent. It's how much of that you put away. Similarly, if you are making 50 grand a year, but you're saving half of that, you will be financially independent far faster than the guy making 500,000. Unless the guy making 500,000 fixes his shit and starts saving money, which if you're making 500 grand is easy. Would you ever move back to your parents to save money? Yes, I would, but I would insist on paying my parents' rent. I don't believe in freeloading. So only if it were to be mutually beneficial. Don't freeload off your parents. That's wrong. And if you're like out of a job and you have to move back in with your parents, you best be doing as many chores as you fucking can to justify your value in that house. Where is here for you, Mr. Amish? Dink is best. Dink is best, provided with one big caveat to that. You have to find a partner. Ooh, hello. Hold up. It's the Quizmaster. Ah, shit. I want to do the Quizmaster. Hang on. There we go. Let's talk. No, I didn't want to. No, I'll talk to. Aw. Fuck. I didn't get to go talk to the Quizmaster. That sucks. I like the quiz show. And all the RuneScape random events. Oh well. You live in Chicago? Chicago's not that expensive for rent. You can find places in Chicago. They might not be in the nicest neighborhoods, but for under $1,500 a month, you should have no problem finding a one bed. Now, if you're living in Chicago and you're not making city money, consider moving to a lower cost of living area, right? Maybe Bloomington or Urbana or Peoria or Springfield if you want to stay in the land of Lincoln. Yeah, see, $1,000 a month, that's not bad. That's pretty reasonable. If you're making an average salary in Chicago, that's very affordable. I've been all over the place, man. I've been to, I think, 43 different states, so I know pretty well. I wish your brother thought like you. He lives at home and does zero chores. That's despicable, and he should feel bad about that. Project 2025, I haven't paid much attention to it. Isn't that the Republican thing that if Donald Trump gets reelected, that's what they want to push? I don't know it very well. Grand's already half my salary. Okay, so if $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year, that means your salary is less than $24,000 a year. If your salary is less than $24,000 a year, that means you're basically working minimum wage, which is you can do better. There are skills you can very easily acquire to increase your wage capability. This could be a trade school, this could be an apprenticeship, this could be any number of things. Depends on really what you want to do. But that one, you can increase your salary. So I would say if you're making less than 50 grand a year, you should focus more on improving your salary. If you're making more than 50 grand a year, you should focus on decreasing your spending. If you're making less than 50 grand a year, you're already probably pretty good at, managing your money because you don't have a choice. You have to be. Or you're spending shit tons of money on credit card debt, in which case, God help you, you're fucked. Please sleep stream. Jilly, nice to meet you. Okay, so 2.4K a month after taxes is probably around just a tick under 2K a month. So you're making between $24,000 and $30,000 a year. That's still pretty low. I don't know what you're doing in Chicago, what your job is, but I guarantee you there are way more opportunities to boost that salary than you realize. They may not be the most glamorous jobs. You may have to go and be a garbage man, but you know what? Garbage men get paid. Sewage workers get paid. Public transit operators get paid. Where there's a will, there's a way, but you're going to have to grind for it. I assume you did not go to college or are not attending college. And that's okay. You don't need to go to college to make good money. I did, but that's because I chose a good degree. I chose mechanical engineering. And now I work in the nuclear industry in paradise. So my life is awesome. Kumo makes about the same. Going to start training to be an EMT. Let's freaking go! That's what I'm talking about. Right, being an EMT is not an easy job, but you know what it is? Stable. Nobody is ever going to sit there and say, oh yeah, there's a surplus of EMT workers. We're just never going to be, EMTs are going to constantly be unemployed. No, if you're an EMT or if you're working in healthcare, you may be working a shit ton of hours, but you will have a job and you will have enough to get by. So, hard to find a place for Salt Lake City for $1,000 a month. Now, yeah, so this is true. When you go west of the Rockies, it gets a lot harder, but it is possible. Hell, I found rooms, like there are 3 and 4 bedroom houses renting out rooms here in Honolulu, one of the not just most expensive cities in the country, but in the world. Okay, it is uniquely unaffordable here. I could still find rooms for under $1,000 a month. Now, I make enough money to where I can afford a 1-bed apartment. And for what it's worth, I pay close to $2,000 a month for the privilege here. I could have probably gotten a 1-bed that was still pretty decent for about $1,600 if I had looked, or if I'd been willing to live in Kalihi, which I wasn't. But I'm choosing a luxury apartment, basically, as far as I'm concerned. This is luxury. But because I'm spending a bit more on housing here, I've chosen to live very sensibly. I don't own a car. I use my bicycle to get around because this place is literally fucking paradise. And, I mean, come on. Dude, alright, so I was biking back from Waikiki the other day. This pretty looking girl in a brand new black Mercedes stopped me while I was at a stoplight, rolled down her windows and said, "You have amazing legs." And I do. Hold on. Let's see if I can show this off. Yeah. Look at them creases, brah. Look at them fucking creases. Got them fucking hockey player legs. They call SLC Silicon Slopes. That's actually a really cool name, but yeah. Salt Lake, well, that's the trouble with Salt Lake City. Is Salt Lake City is not densified enough to justify or to keep up. So it's a lot of those Mountain West towns are having a tough time. Boise's the same way. What's up, one who walks through fire? Now pursuing computer science and going to school, walking 2 jobs. Dude, if that's what you're doing, keep believing in yourself, keep grinding. In a few years, you're going to be fucking killing it, and I can't wait to hear it. Confused, I don't feel like I've seen you around here very much. If you haven't followed, please do. And if you haven't checked out the Discord, I would love to have you on there. I've got tons of really good advice and tons of really good information on my Discord as well that you might find really, really helpful. Also, I will say, if that's what you're doing to support yourself, we've got some other people that are in computer science that might be a really good, might be really good connections for you to have. Now, if you want to stay in Illinois, but you're willing to live in a smaller area than Chicago, your expenses can be really, really low. I wish EMB was here because he lives over in Rockford, and he knows that very well. His living costs are very low, and I'm very impressed. EMB is the poster child for what I think I try to make my mindset. I've seen him improve so much over the years. The world's going to be that dude's oyster, and I can't fucking wait to see it. Ooh, dude, cybersec's great. Yeah, cybersecurity is a great field. Get some certs. You will be able to demand a very nice salary. Not to mention you'll have remote work if you want it. Cybersecurity and IT in general allow for much more remote working capabilities than, say, my industry. Cybersecurity does not suck ass, dude. It's a really good field. No, EMB's EMB's one of my main Discord users. He's from your part. He's from your neck of the woods in Illinois. You need to talk to him. Definitely, dude. Type in !Discord. I would love to see you join that, become a regular there. I think there's a lot of really good stuff we can teach you there. But by all means, keep asking me whatever you'd like. I'm happy to talk about my story, how I've gotten financially independent, sort of how my mindset is, anything like that. I'm very happy you started talking, Mr. Amish. It sounds like you've got a lot of really good stuff going for you and a really bright future because you're willing to work hard. The same with you. What was your name? Kuro. Like you two, it seems like y'all have a lot going on. So Kuro, very happy that you're working to become an EMT. And God bless, because we need those. That's an essential service. It's a really important one, too. Then go be a software dev. What exactly do you do again, Ian? What's your job? You can definitely get there, man. Believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. That's the great thing about this country. That's the great thing about living in America. If you bet on yourself and you keep your fucking nose to the grindstone, the sky's the fucking limit, man. It really is. It really is. That American prosperity is still alive and well. Maybe it's not as easy as it was in 1955 when we didn't have any competition. But you know what? It's still fucking alive and well. That heart's still beating nice and strong. Paramedic or a firefighter. Dude, let's go! Those are two excellent careers. Or build shit, love to join Meta or Twitch. Okay, yeah, Neon, that's great, but what do you do now? What's your first step towards that? Everybody wants one of those cushy 300K a year FANG jobs, but you know what? Those are really hard to get. I know that secondhand, because my older brother has done software development for a lot of the really high up companies, and they are very, very difficult jobs. You're going to be working 80, 90 hours a week. The Gadsden flag looks a lot better. Hey, no, I'm 100% on, I love the original Gadsden flag, but I'm also a huge fan of not taking myself too seriously, so it's the Bobby Hill, that's my purse, I don't know you flag. Competition, Neon, you're dodging this question. What do you do for a living? What's your current job? But Kuro, I think either of those are terrific careers. Fireman, obviously, you get a pretty good pension. The nice thing about being a fireman, too, is if you like being in shape, you get paid to lift weights, basically. Like, when there isn't a fire and you're just at the station, a lot of firemen are some of the biggest, most jacked motherfuckers you'll ever meet. So if you want to walk around like fucking Giga Chad and you're a fireman, you get paid for that. So that's really cool. Without the duct tape. Yeah, I got me. Okay, so I had said this on stream. The duct tape was only a temporary solution. I did end up going with the little, they weren't command strips. It's these Scotch mount pieces of tape. These worked out pretty well. Took me a little while to figure out how to use them properly, though, because the instructions aren't that good. I thought it was double-sided adhesive, and it's not. It's single-sided. I don't believe in material objects. Okay, that's great, Neum, but what do you do for a living? What is your current employment? If you want to work for a big tech company, that's all fine and good. But how are you getting to that point? Yeah, also, if you swing for the other team, or if you're bi and you're a fireman, you will get your pick of the litter as far as guys. Big Game Mikey, spitting facts there. Oh, you're a university student. Okay, so what do you study? All right. So Confused Amish, you're asking about my story. So let's talk about that. See, didn't I have a... Okay. Oh, you're trying to study software development. Yeah. No, dude, get that software development degree and the world will also be your oyster. There's loads and loads of great jobs to work doing software development, but unless you have the resume kissed by Jesus himself or you know people, you're not going to get a job at a FANG starting out. I mean, the odds are stacked against you. Trust me, you're better off don't swing for the home run ball at first. Swing for a single, work for a good solid company. My bro's a software development. He's worked at the Home Depot in the past. Great company in terms of getting a start. But companies like that, Walmart, Target, Johnson & Johnson, they still need software developers. It's just nowhere near as glamorous as the tech. FANG, F-A-A-N-G, stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. If you invest, it's a very common terminology, yes. So, as far as my, usually the FANGs do not hire straight out of college, unless you came from, the best of the best schools, and you've got the best of the best connections. But, okay. So my story. I was born and raised in a military family, so if you're wondering why I'm kind of fairly patriotic and pro-America, and I think America is the greatest country on earth, there you go. That's a big part of why. I've lived in other countries before, but we've moved all over the place. Fast forward to college, I went to Texas A&M University. Whoop, Giga Maggies. But I decided to study mechanical engineering with a minor in economics, and I worked really, really hard, including studying some summers and working through the summers to minimize my cost and to get my degree in 4 years instead of take any more time than I had to. I took lots of AP classes. I took lots of, I tried to really, improve it as best as I could. First 3 years of college, I thought I wanted to go to the automotive industry. And so I did Formula SAE, which was a capstone design course in college where basically we designed, built, and tested a miniature Formula One race car. Now, with that Formula One, with the Formula SAE, it was one of the hardest. It's the hardest I've ever worked in my life at a project, by far. And it was very gratifying because we did win competition, but it taught me very quickly that the automotive industry, as great as it can be, you can be the all-star behind an incredible automotive design one year, and then the next year get fired for completely external reasons. There's very little job security, and it also would have probably meant that I had to live in Detroit, which I didn't really want to do. I have nothing against Detroit and the state of Michigan in general, but I'm not much for cold weather. If you've lived in Texas for 4 years in college, you lose much of the cold tolerance you'd otherwise have. So I wanted to go into the nuclear industry. Senior year, I'd kind of gotten really into nuclear power, nuclear weapons, nuclear waste processing and storage. Originally had a job lined up with a company that worked for the Idaho National Labs out in eastern Idaho. Security clearance processing in the nuclear world, especially for Department of Energy, is much, much slower than other departments. It's just lower than state and defense and a bunch of others for some fucking reason. So I took the bird in the hand, ended up working for a defense contractor. It was L3 Harris that hired me. Worked at L3 Harris in Greenville, Texas. Did not enjoy it. Hell, they actually had me pushing computers and doing IT at one point because that was what the company needed. Even though they hired me on as a mechanical engineer, I didn't bitch, I didn't complain, I just fucking did my job, kept grinding, and then 3 years later, kept looking for, nuclear work. 3 years later, late 2020, I find work out at the Savannah River site in South Carolina. Boom, got my foot into the door of the nuclear industry, which is what I wanted to do. Did I end up liking what it was specifically that I was doing for the nuclear industry there? No, it was nuclear weapons, and that was definitely, a bit of a letdown in terms of, what I wanted to do. But I stuck with it, kept saving all my money in the meantime, and living in an incredibly low-cost living area. I optimized my expenses extremely well. And then because of that, I kept my connections open, ended up going to a training that my company wanted me to go to, and met some workers out at the shipyards here in Pearl Harbor. And we got to talking, and lo and behold, they're like, hey, you're a pretty smart guy. We'd love to hire you. You ever interested in moving out to Hawaii? And I said, hell yeah, I am. I actually had two offers, and I had to go back and forth between the two for a while. The other was at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard in Washington State. So that's the sort of career trajectory you can have too. It's not, I didn't do anything special. I just worked hard, and I continue to look for opportunities. That's what's so special about this country, though. If you do that, you will be rewarded. So I did work long hours at L3. I was working 56, 60-hour weeks. That's what I had to do. It was my first job out of college, and I had to make a good impression. Was it a bitch? Yeah, it was a bitch. But that's how life is. You gotta grind through your 20s. And if you spend your 20s saving money, that is the most, right, the earlier you save your money, the best time to invest is yesterday. The next best time is today. You save your money early in life, it makes such a difference. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man, said, I don't care what you got to do. Buy, beg, borrow, beg, borrow, or steal. Do whatever you have to do to get that first $100,000 invested. But once you do that, you're set for life. Because $100,000 invested, right, let's just say at age 25 or age 30. Let's say $100,000 at age 30, which you should be able to do. Because if you start working at 22, that means you put away about 8K a year to age 30. Remember, compound interest is going to help you. You're going to get 100,000 at 30. If it's invested in an S&P based, broad index fund, it'll double about every 10 years. So that's 200,000 at 40, 400,000 at 50, 800,000 at 60. And this is assuming you don't put another red fucking cent into it over those 30 years. And $1.6 million at 70. That's enough for you to retire on for good. That's how powerful it is. It's your glizzy budget. Good Lord. So, dude, I'm telling you, use the rule of 72. So, no, okay. Great question, Pucked Up. When I say 7%, that's adjusted for inflation. Average U.S. inflation over the last 100 years or so is between 3 and 4%. Average S&P returns, nominally speaking, are around 10 to 11%. So you subtract it, it's about 7% real returns. So that's how it paces with inflation very well. Now there are times where it's boomed and times where it's gone flat. For instance, the 1970s were not a nice decade to own stocks. All right, let's go 48 fishing. Nice. Okay, so what do you use to invest in index funds? That one's super easy. And I have the answer in my finances channel on Discord, but I'm a huge fan of Vanguard, and I'm a huge fan of the VTI. That's the S&P 500 large cap index. Company doesn't hold a 401k for you yet, then the IRA is your best friend. I recommend looking at an IRA, and Vanguard is the company to do it with. Vanguard is the 1993 Toyota Corolla of investment brokerages. It's unsexy, the user interface is dull, and it always fucking works. You don't have to worry about any shenanigans like a company like Robinhood might pull on you. Okay? What do you use to invest in index funds? Usually, again, my phone or usually my laptop. I usually do that on a computer because that way I can pull up other tabs and such, but it's pretty automatic. I've actually been reading a couple books about investing over the last little while. I'm a huge fan of several. Early Retirement Extreme is probably my favorite. Your Money, Your Life is excellent. Right now I'm going through a random walk down Wall Street, very good. The Boglehead's Guide to Investing, to Common Sense Investing, really good. The Boglehead's Guide to Investing is really good. That's by Taylor Larimore. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John Bogle. Oh, wonderful. Excellent, excellent book. Those are pretty good. Right now I'm reading Random Walk Down Wall Street and also The Fountainhead. I don't necessarily agree with Ayn Rand on a lot of things, but I was recommended this book, and I want to challenge my preconceptions. And so far, I've enjoyed the book. I don't necessarily agree with the philosophy, but it's been a very good read so far. I will read. I don't care what your political philosophy is. I will listen and I will read. I may not agree with you. Hell, I've read the manifesto. It's fucking terrible, but I've read it. Use Vanguard. Put all my money in my small business. Ooh, what's your small business? What do you do? Speaking of other really easy, well, not easy, but really lucrative ways to make money in this country, if you stick to it and you know what you're doing, you can start a business. Then you're your own boss. Is it easy? Fuck no. Is it more lucrative than working for the man? Can be. Really depends. So one of my good friend's statements I really like. She says, never let your chapter 1 be defined by someone else's chapter 20. So confused Amish, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Right? You can learn, the best you can do is learn from your mistakes. Beating yourself up over your mistakes is not helpful. I'm a huge fan of Stoicism as a philosophy. The basic core tenet of Stoicism says, Do not worry about that which you cannot control. You can't control the past. You can't go back and fix it. The best you can do is learn from it to make better choices in the future. So that's how you should approach it. Don't look at, oh man, I'm so far behind, because that leads to self-pity, and self-pity is not helpful. Look at, thank God I learned about this now instead of when I was 40 or when I was 50. You see what I'm getting at? Witch casting, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hell, even moving out here, here's a great example, Mr. Amish. I moved out here, and so when I was in South Carolina, I didn't have a ton to do. So I started this channel, and I kept lifting, and I focused my diet a little bit better, and as a result, I started getting abs, kept watching my numbers in the gym go up and up and up, and as a result, when I got out here, within the first week of getting out here, I was lifting at the gym, and I got solicited by someone who wants me to be a model for them. And I've already got a runway show scheduled in August and a clothing deal coming up in the Philippines in September. That's just serendipity from life, right? And if you engineer your life for optimization, that's the kind of shit that will happen to you. I don't expect it, but it doesn't surprise me. You see what I mean? I am very positive. I am very much, that's sort of my mindset. Confused Amish, another one you should really look at is Mr. Money Mustache. There's a blog called Mr. Money Mustache. I love what he has to say. He's a very smart fella, and I love the style of his work. So if you want something that's a bit less dry than ERE or a bit more up to date than your money or your life, Mr. Money Mustache is excellent. Yeah, exactly. I got a vision. My vision's been to earn freedom for myself. I've done that. Now, going forward, what is work and what is play? It's all fun to me. I enjoy my job. And when I stop enjoying my job, I'll stop working it. But until then, I might as well keep working it, continue to live in paradise, spend money on charities out here, advocate for causes I care about, cycling, and go from there. And be a fucking model. The best part is one of these upcoming modeling, like a lot of these modeling events, I'm going to get introduced to other models, male and female. What a great opportunity to meet people, right? So that's another one. Through your 20s, if you're male, ignore dating. Dating's not worth the effort. Focus on self-improvement until you've established yourself a bit more. Then in your mid to late 20s, then you can start looking as your stock, once your stock really starts rising. And you'll know when your stock starts rising. I know mine has. Honestly, it took me longer to realize it than it should have. Oh, you've got a girlfriend? Well then, job done. You're good. If your girlfriend is investing in you in your 20s as a man, and she sticks with you and she's loyal, it's going to work out really well for her. Provided, of course, you're motivated and you're driven and you're looking to better your own circumstances, which it sounds like you are. I fucking love to see it. Damn, this was tasty. Good lunch. So let's figure out what the macros of that were. So that was 380 calories of peanut butter, 150 calories of oats, 400 calories of yogurt, and 160 calories of pineapple. So that's 380 plus 150 plus 160 is 690. So it's 1,090 calories. It's pineapple. So it's 1,090 calories, I believe is what I said. So 1,090. Protein. So no protein in the pineapple. 18 grams per serving of the yogurt. Multiply that by 4. That's 18, 36, 54, 72. 7 grams of protein per serving of peanut butter. That's 2 servings. So 70. We had 72. Add 7 is 79. Add 7 more. That's 86. And then that 5 grams of protein for the oats. So that's 91 grams of protein. And then fat, no fat from the yogurt, 2.5 grams from the oats, none from the pineapple, and 32 from the peanut butter. So 34.5. Carbs. Let's see, 28 from the yogurt, 12 from the peanut butter, 40 from the pineapple. So that's 28 plus 12 is 40, plus 40 is 80, and then 27 for the oats. So that's 107. Not bad. So far today, I've had that protein powder and some coffee. So I am at, let's see, 1,370 calories and 139 grams of protein. Perfect. That's pretty good. She streams too. Oh, if she streams, I'd love to, we can rate her or shout her out or anything like that. Very happy to do that. Do you like Korean girls? Dude, I live in Honolulu. The amount of Asian girls I have access to out here, don't got to worry about that. But I mean, by all means, if you want to, why not? Sure. Reckless Pet, hell yeah, go Nationals. This is actually my dad's. I was talking about this earlier, so it's got sentimental value to me. He would wear it normally, front side. I wear it back here. But thanks for the first time chat. Tomafit, good to see you. Have not seen you in a minute. Aloha, brah. How you doing? You're an Orioles fan? Gross. I don't like the Orioles because Peter Angelos tried to. So the Nationals ownership, the Senators ownership in the 60s openly campaigned to get a baseball team in Baltimore. And then Peter Angelos and the Orioles owners did not return the favor in 2004 and actually tried to block the Expos from coming here. I am Korean, bro. That's hilarious. If he were gay, he'd murder. You don't have to like us for us to be number 1 seed, which we are. Gross. I guess I like y'all more than the Yankees, but that's not saying much. Actually, I don't even know if that's true. Tomo, what's your normal stream time? I'm still trying to figure that out. The time zone, because I live here in Hawaii, the time zone is kind of all over the place. Like, in terms of, I think what I'm going to try and do, I'm still trying to figure out a regular streaming schedule in the future. I think it's going to be either Saturday morning and Sunday evening, or Saturday evening and Sunday morning, and I don't know which yet. So it's probably going to be one of those, because that way I can have different audiences, because I've got audiences all over the world, Asia, Europe, the continental US, so it's difficult for me to kind of satisfy all of those. Hey, thank you so much for the Prime sub, Confused. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. New owners. Oh shit! So Peter Angelos is no longer the owner? All right, well then I can stop hating the Orioles. That's cool. All right then, go O's. Although I wish you'd stop yelling "Oh" in the national anthem. That shit's cringe. Don't do that. I just saw the Bobby Hill flag. Yes, I'm a huge fan of. Again, I said this earlier. I'm a huge fan of the Gadsden flag, but I also don't take myself too seriously. That's my purse. I don't know you. Kicks in the nuts. Rubenstein. Oh, all right. Appreciate that. Actually, speaking of flags, y'all will see I have an empty space right now. I'm waiting. I'd love to get. I would love to get a Hawaii state flag and put it up there. So when I used to live in South Carolina, I flew the Palmetto flag. When I used to live in Texas, I flew the Lone Star. And I would really love to put the Hawaii state flag up there. For now. But right, the Bobby Hill flag is going to move over there, and then the Hawaii state flag is going to move where the Bobby Hill flag is. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. Oh yeah, well I just finished eating, so actually I'm going to go ahead and move this back into the fridge. 'Cause I'm a fucking weirdo and I like my peanut butter refrigerated. I don't really know why that is, but I do. Ooh. Fuck. I may need to take a quick bathroom break. Yeah, that's the Costco This is the Costco size of peanut butter. I may need to eat. Oof, I got a poop run. Yeah, I still got to figure out exactly how I want to set this all up. You know, I could move this over. Oh, shit. I could move this window over. God damn it. Yeah, I can move it over here. I can move it back there. We're still figuring that aspect of it out. Yeah, y'all, I will be. Yeah, I've been going for a while. Sparky Marky TTV, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Saturdays for the boys. Hell yeah. Well, I had some pit vipers and I was living white boy summer, but they broke, so I need to go fix them. I gotta. Where's that one at? I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to arrange it. I think I'll probably move the RuneScape window over a bit. I'm also going to minimize it just a touch. There we go. I'm also going to minimize the RuneScape map just a touch and then try and figure it out from there. Because I want to put a state flag up. I really do. But if y'all want to be the one to gift that to me, it is in there. Just type in !gift and, well, I would very much appreciate it. Don't feel like you have to, but if you'd like to, you can. See who's live right now. Maliki. Ooh, Miss Lesbian Hot Sauce is doing a politics stream because Britain is having an election. Might end up raiding her. We'll see. White Boy Summer, hell yeah. Let me show you. I'll show you all the pits. But give me like a minute or two. I gotta go use the bathroom, okay? Give me just 1 second.
Hey, sorry about that, y'all. I just couldn't hold it anymore. Your boy had to take a poop. Welcome back.
Ah.
There we go. Turn this up just a bit. Yeah, no, I got a few flags too. Actually, I got a really cool flag from a homie 5 Points Vids on YouTube. So that's what I got hanging up behind me. Shit's pretty dope. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out exactly how I want to place the Hawaii flag. I don't know if I'll move the "that's my purse, I don't know you" flag. It's a really good way to start conversations, so I like keeping it up. DRG Halberd says, how will you retire by 30, and how old are you now? I do strongly believe in Second Amendment rights and the "don't tread on me" message. So I do like the Gadsden flag, but I also like making jokes and shit posting. I am 29 years old. I will turn 30 in about 300 days. But, sorry, let me get some water. All this talking on stream makes me thirsty. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Much better. So, I'm 29 years old. I have, over the last 7 years of my life, saved over 75% of my income. As a result, I am basically already financially independent. That's the short version of the story. The real answer is, so I optimized my finances while working an engineering job and lived in very low cost of living areas. Like, I deliberately sought out the lowest cost of living areas possible. Made some sacrifices, and as a result now my finances are in excellent shape compared to basically 99% of people my age. And because my expenses are, even here in Hawaii, still fairly low, I'm not financially independent in Hawaii, but if I didn't have to work a job, why would that necessarily mean I would have to stay here? So I'm financially independent. I just wouldn't be able to stay here if I wish to retire tomorrow. No, I don't eat ramen noodles. Bro, okay. Let's be very clear about something. Look at me. Do I look like I eat ramen noodles? Because ramen noodles are just fucking empty carbs. If you look like this, you're probably not eating ramen on a very regular basis. Plus, you don't eat ramen in Hawaii. Why would you when you have Simon, which is so much better? Reject ramen, embrace Simon. Could always do OnlyFans. Not, well, the job I currently work, I can't. I could if I really wanted to, but I'm not that interested in doing OnlyFans. You got kids or a spouse, or think you won't have kids to support early retirement? So, right, just because I can retire early doesn't necessarily mean I will. I want the ability to. It's about having the freedom. It's about that's why it says financial independence. It doesn't necessarily mean early retirement. I can retire. It's the power of fuck you. I want to have that power to say, fuck you, I quit. But I like my job right now. I really like what I do for a living. And I enjoy the challenges. So if at some future point I decide I no longer enjoy it, then I can quit. And I don't have to worry about it. But in the time that remains, I can continue to stack money. I can continue to save and invest. And I can continue enjoying my work, which pays pretty well. Do I have kids and a spouse? At the moment, no, I'm single. But that's part of the other reason. That's part of the other part of where I used to work and live. My cost of living was very low, but there was also a horrendous dating market there. So I just gave up on dating for years. What was the point? Rural South Carolina, the obesity rate's 50%. And look, I'm not saying I'm shallow to the point where, that's the only thing I care about. But realistically, y'all, I do not put this much work into my body to have a partner that is going to hold me back. I want someone who is as driven and motivated as I am, and I'm willing to wait to find that person. I really try to optimize my life and live my best life and be as make the best out of every day, be the best version of myself that I can be, because you only have, there's only going to be one July 4th, 2024 in existence. So why not make the best of it? So because of that, I'm not saying my standards are really high. They've definitely gone a lot higher than they used to be when I had lower self-esteem. But right in rural South Carolina, with a 50% obesity rate off the top, you're already talking about a pretty diminished dating market. And I had to travel bare minimum 90 minutes one way to drive to a big enough city like Columbia in order to find someone to date. So it just wasn't worth the time. The return on investment was terrible there. So I worked on myself instead. Now I come out here and I've already got a modeling opportunity. I've already got, the dating will come. And partner meaning woman or man, I swing both ways on that one. So okay. So I don't advertise my sexuality very much because it's just not. I was born and raised in a culture of don't ask, don't tell. I was in a military family. That was sort of how we went about it. But I've come to terms with that. I would call myself bi. So I don't really advertise that. But as a function of that, that's the other part. Living in the rural deep South, you can say goodbye to any LGBT scene for sure. Living in rural South Carolina was a bit like moving back to 1985 in some ways. So, I am not an everyday streamer, but I do have a Discord. If you want more content, type in !Discord. Please, please, please come hang out there. I would love more activity on my Discord channel. Really would. That would mean quite a lot to me, actually. Oh, we're almost at 49 fishing. That's awesome. You're in the military. All right. Well, thank you very much for your service on today of all days. My father served 29 years. My grandfather was West Point class of 47. I've got cousins in the Marines. I've got lots of friends in the Navy. And now I work for the Navy. So I understand, the commitment that is involved there. Keep fishing. Already joined. You play other games? Yeah. Right now, I'm still only working with my laptop, my tower computer. I have not managed to ship out here from the mainland yet, so we'll get to that. But at the moment, no. Really, the reason I like playing old school RuneScape is because I can do AFK tasks like fishing here and focus way more on the conversation and actually talking to people in chat. One of the things I don't like about Twitch is you get gamer streamers that spend all their time focusing on, like, you're playing a game like Call of Duty or you're playing a game like Battlefield, whatever. You're locked in, you're focused on the game. And I find that, if you're trying to keep attention with chat and a conversation going, at least for me, I can't do that. Whereas this, right, it's one click, you're chilling, you're watching your little, animated character fish, the guy with the bitchin' smithing cape, that's me. But yeah, I've been in 7. Well, God bless. Live in rural Virginia. It's not very bi friendly either. You're the actual southern part of Virginia, the part of Virginia that is still what most people would consider the South. I like Virginia. Unfortunately, y'all's police are insane. Y'all's speeding laws are stupid. But I've got good friends in Richmond, Petersburg, Blacksburg, and the 7 cities. So I like Virginia quite a bit. Gotta go. Well, all right. Thank you very much, Sparky Marky, and thanks for the follow. Hope to see you on the Discord. You will get plenty of good stuff there. So if you want, check out the pinned messages too. Look at the different roles, accept the rules, and enjoy it, man. That Discord channel, that Discord server is really great. It's got lots of great opportunities, good stuff. Love is love. Yeah. DRG, hopefully you still get your pee-pee wet. I've been in such a drought for so long that I don't care about it as much. Hang on. Uber. There we go. Raise hail, praise Dale. That's what I'm talking about. 13-year anniversary is coming up on the 12th. Oh, congratulations. Next year is my 20th. Wow. That's incredible, man. Oh, looks like we got another fishing spot. Cool. That's so awesome, Tomo. I'm very glad to hear that. We'll keep fishing. We chilling? We doing a little fishing? Ooh, can update my YouTube handle. That's cool. I might try that. Mom's side of the family is heavily military, if I correctly. Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. My workout was good. I hit pulse. So let's see. I hit. Actually, I did hit a PR on rows today. I hit. Let's see. I hit 6 sets on rows, bent over with the barbell. Set of 11 at 185. A set of 8 at 205. A set of 6 at 225. A set of 7 at 225. A set of 15 at 155 with wide grip, and a set of 12 at 165 with wide grip. So pretty good, I would say. Then I hit, let's see, I hit shrugs at 315 for 3 sets, 1 of 12, 1 of 11, 1 of 10. 3 sets of 10 at upright rows at 145. Tony Caleb, thank you very, very much for the subscription. I appreciate that. Mahalo. All right, so let's go up here. I did lateral raises with bent arm lateral raises. 3 sets of 15, 12, and 12 with 35, 40, and 35 dumbbells, respectively. Machine pull downs, set of 10 and 8 at 270, set of 15 at 180. I could stand to get some straps, actually. Probably won't put that on my throne, though. I'm going to probably just go to the NEX and get that. Let's see, reverse curls, just set at 95, set at 75, and a set at 85. 3 sets of preacher curls at 95, 95, and 115. Set of incline curls at 45 and 40 dumbbells, and 40 again, so 3 sets. 2 sets of concentration curls at 35 and 30 respectively. 1 set of barbell curls at 65 for 50 reps. That was my final pump set, which is why I got a really good pump today. Pretty stoked on that pump. That pump, y'all. That pump. Gotta get that pump. Did 3 sets of leg raises and 3 sets of cable crunches as well. I think that's everything. Yeah, that was my workout. It's pretty good. So, the fact that I'm at or near PRs at, in a cut cycle, fairly deep into a cut cycle too, is a good sign. I'm pretty pleased with that in general. So we'll keep fishing. I'm just going to continue to fish today because we're so close to 50. I want to get to level 50. Get it done. That's what I'm talking about. So a great session at the gym. Absolutely. Yeah, I've been putting in the work. Looking good. Traps looking not bad. Shoulders looking good. There we go. Get that lat spread. Good stuff. Appreciate that. It's a little tipsy to say I've been out of the closet for a number of years. No, I think he was saying he was in the military for 7 years. Damn it, Mikey. You funny. Yeah, I appreciate that sub there, Tony Caleb. Very kind to you. I've been lifting for 16 years, so that there's my big year thing. I've been lifting and playing RuneScape for now because I stopped playing RuneScape for a long time. I've only been doing this for streaming really, but yeah. If you want to see the Hawaii state flag up, you can check the exclamation mark gift, and then I believe there should be notifications that happen whenever you make a gift purchase on Throne. We'll see, but I'm not sure exactly. There we go. Still can't wrap my head around the popularity of disco music in the 70s. So I can answer that one. You had the civil rights movement in the 60s, which made a lot of black music much more mainstream. Then you add in the elements of funk and Latino music that started getting popular in the early 70s. Mix those two together, and you get the foundation for disco. As a result, hey, all right, 49 fishing. So, as a result, disco sort of found its popularity from there. And of course, with disco, disco is very, very LGBT friendly. So, with the rise of the gay pride scene, right, the Stonewall riots was 1969, gay pride became a bigger and bigger thing in a lot of cities, especially New York and San Francisco, in the 1970s. And a lot of disco music originated in those two. And, in Miami as well. You know. So appreciate that there, Big Gay Mikey. Kill a bottle of Eagle Rare for freedom. I'm gonna respond to that. Games. Oh, there we go. By 79, just like hair metal, it became processed. I mean, pretty much. I mean, but that's how any genre or wave of music goes. By 1979, you had fresher things in the, even by you had hardcore punk starting to come on the scene, bands like the Dead Kennedys. You had the second wave of British heavy metal, Judas Priest, Motorhead, those groups. Although Iron Maiden, I wouldn't even call Motorhead heavy metal. Motorhead's just Motorhead. But yeah, you've got, from the American side, you have Van Halen, yeah. Wonder if Trigger Bell was serious about wanting this without me cleaning it. I mean, I'll happily sell it to one of y'all without cleaning it, but I assume most people are gonna want it cleaned. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna take it apart and clean all the gaskets, the bezels, all that sort of stuff. This will outlast anything in any other watch. Like this thing will still be working fucking 50 years from now. Oh god, fucking ABBA. The original, provided you've changed the batteries maybe twice, the original G-Shocks that were created in the 1980s still work really well if you can find one. As long as the resin hasn't been absolutely beat to shit, but the module of the watch still works. Even if it was made in, 1983, 1985, 1987. I fucking hate ABBA. Yeah, New Wave came along in the late 70s. It's from Joe's Garage, right? Well, the years is rolling by, yeah. Heavy metal and glitter rock had caught the public eye. Sunny boys with lipstick on were really riding high, yeah. And then they got that disco thing and New Wave came along, I love Frank Zappa. What do you listen to? For the most part, actually, speaking of music from that decade, I like to go through entire discographies of bands and listen to them. Mostly for me, it's mostly rock, especially progressive rock. I like some country, I like some rap. I'm not a huge fan of EDM, but I don't hate it. Right now I've been going through the discography of Black Sabbath, and I'm midway through Technical Ecstasy, which actually I think is pretty good. A lot of people hate on that album, and it's definitely not as good as Sabotage, but it's not a bad album. It was just Black Sabbath trying to do something different because it was the disco era, and they wanted to try, a little bit more experimentation. There's nothing wrong with. But no, ABBA. Ugh, I really don't like ABBA. I don't know why. Ugh, awful. No, I'm really glad Twitch has copyright, which means y'all, couldn't make. Y'all couldn't make a channel points redeem, listen to Dancing Queen or some shit like that. Ugh. I don't like ABBA. Simple as. Kiss put out a disco record. No, yeah. I mean, actually, it's funny. There is a mashup on YouTube, and I love this, actually, because this is two bands that were not disco bands mashed into a disco track. There's someone who mashed together I Was Made for Lovin' You by Kiss and Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind & Fire, and it's called I Was Made for Boogie Wonderland. I don't know why, but actually I do know why. It's because they both had the disco beat. It works way too fucking well. Highly recommend that. Big Red, you should check that out. It's called I Was Made for Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind & Kiss. Now, I actually do like disco music for the most part. I just fucking hate ABBA. Earth, Wind & Fire kicks ass. I like Earth, Wind & Fire a lot. Yeah. Give I Was Made for Boogie Wonderland a listen. What a great day. Let's see, what do I have to do today? I've been working on a food comparator. I've been updating that. I need to continue updating it, but I'm mostly done with that. Once that's done, everything's going to be closed for the 4th, so can't go and do my bulk buy, because right now, here in Hawaii, there's something called RIMPAC going on right now, which is, it's basically like a giant war games for the U.S. and a bunch of other countries' navies, and because of that, the local NEX is running a sale on protein powder and shit, so I'm probably going to stock up, but I can't do that today because it's going to be closed. What else do I need to do? Need to check a little bit more of my HSA stuff, organize my desk. I want to do some more reading today because I like reading. I might go to the beach, honestly. The beach just sounds really nice. I haven't... Dude, the question is, the trouble is, what beach do I want to go to from here? I can go hiking instead. Hiking sounds pretty good. I might go do that. I Was Made for Boogie Wonderland. Disco is definitely the genre, but no, my favorite band of them all is Yes, for what it's worth. I love Yes. And Yes is about the most indulgent progressive rock band, maybe short of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but I love them. They're good. By the way, Tony Caleb, definitely you should join the Discord as well if you want more good stuff. Beach and book sounds good. Yeah, I have to figure out where I want to go. Nearest beach is here. I guess I could go over to Aiea, but that's not really a beach. That's more just like harbor side. It's nice, but it's not really a beach. It's like it's a state recreation area at the bay there. But it's not, it's not a beach as such. It's just like a nice little shady tree area. Ooh, I don't know. I could go over to Moanalua Valley and go hike there. That sounds like a lot of fun. Then go on a great big walk. I wouldn't even have to take my bike to get over there. I just have to go down Kaiser and then up Alalani Street. That's all the way at the end there. That would make for a really good hike. I might just go do that. That sounds like fun. And then later today, I'm going up to the top of the crater to watch the fireworks. That'll be great. Can't wait for that. Yeah, it's getting fairly late. It's 2:30. We've been streaming for a hot minute. I should probably call it a day and look to raid someone. Hey, sweet. Tony's going to join the Discord. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. All right. We'll finish cooking our fish and then we'll... Let's see, who do we want to raid? We got Malik, we've got Lesbian Hot Sauce. It's one of those two. Unless one of y'all has someone I should raid. Otherwise, I'm going to probably pick one of those. Might raid Hot Sauce. So, for what it's worth, she does politics, she is British, and she is very much more left-wing than I am. But I still really like her. She is... Yeah, we're going to raid her, because she's been fighting off cancer. She's been doing chemo, and it sounds like she's doing really well. I think that's who we're gonna. Yeah, that's who we're gonna raid. We'll raid her. I like her. Even though we may disagree on a lot of things, I enjoy talking to her. She's always got interesting stuff to say. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna finish cooking here. And I gotta log off with just a quick little emoji because this is my character and this is my favorite thing to do. We're gonna come up here. We're gonna turn around and we're gonna hit the skill cape emoji. Yeah. Bam. Bam. Yeah, I love that shit. It's so good. All right, so let's go ahead and log off. We'll exit that. I think that's gonna be it, y'all. Happy Independence Day. God bless America. It's the greatest country on earth. If you fucking if you don't like that, well, too bad. America. All right, we're gonna raid lesbian hot sauce. We're gonna raid our British friend. Be very respectful of her. And I will see y'all probably at some point this weekend. Don't know exactly when, don't know exactly how. Check the Discord for more, all right? Y'all take it easy. And as always, y'all, make good decisions. Those good decisions form your actions. Those actions form your habits. Those habits form your values. And those values form an ethos. It could be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. Big bull hug. Raid ski. Start watching. All right, YouTube, it's been